So Jared Cannonier with the big win over Kelvin Gastelum in the main event of the UFC Fight Night. 5 rounds in the middleweight division. I believe Cannonier was ranked number 3 going into the fight, and Gastelum was ranked about 8 or 9. But of course, Gastelum has a lot of that big fight experience. Sure, he's lost 5 of his last 6, which doesn't sound good, but he's fighting the cream of the crop, the best of the best in the middleweight division. He has losses to Israel Adesanya uh, in a fight of the year, Darren Till, Jack Hermanson, Jared Cannonier. He's not losing to chumps, Robert Whitaker. So, he's losing to the best of the best in the division. And so, with that being said, like I said, I don't think Kelvin's in danger of losing his job or anything like that, but he may have a step down in level of competition next. But Cannonier, man, both of these guys were coming off a loss to Robert Whitaker in this one. Cannonier showing that, he may have lost to Whitaker. He may be 37 years old, but he's still improving, and he's still in that, run for title contention in the middleweight division. I mean, I say we got Darren Till and Derek Brunson coming up soon. It'd be nice to see Cannonier fight the winner of that, and maybe the winner of that go on to fight for the title, because, like I said, Cannonier lost to Whitaker, but in this fight he showed, he's a problem for a lot of guys. It was a great fight. I had Cannonier winning rounds 1, 3, and 4. I had Gastelum winning definitely round 2 and probably round 5. Cannonier just hits hard, man. He dropped Kelvin in round 3. It almost looked like Kelvin went out on that. I can't remember. I believe it was a lead hook from the southpaw stance, but man, it looked like it looked like Gastelum was out before he hit the mat. Immediately got back up once he hit the mat, but man, crazy shot. Cannonier almost dropped him again, I believe, in the 4th or 5th round. It wasn't technically a knockdown, but, he hit Kelvin, and Kelvin kind of fell to his knees a little bit, got back up, though. Kelvin is as tough as they come, man. I mean, it's impossibly hard to finish this guy. We saw him eat a head kick from Whitaker. That head kick looked like a baseball bat to the head, and, Kelvin just ate it and kept moving forward. Kelvin Gastelum is an absolute savage. And for Cannonier to go out there and, win 3 out of 5 rounds against a guy like that, I mean, that's a testament to something, it's a testament to how good he is. So, with that being said, I would love to see Cannonier go on to, have another big middleweight fight and then potentially go on to fight for the title. And in this fight, I think he improved a lot in his movement. In a lot of his previous fights, Jared Cannonier I'm talking about, of course he's not immobile, but he typically doesn't rely on his movement as much as he did in this fight. And when you saw him in the second round lose the second round to Gastelum, that was definitely Gastelum's best round of the fight. That was the round Cannonier moved the least. And then I believe he went in the corner, and the corner told him, hey, this guy wants to brawl with you, and you're brawling with him this round. Keep moving. He's having a hard time dealing with you when you're moving. And, they were right. He went back to the movement, and the third round was his best round of the fight for him, probably. So I think Cannonier made a big improvement, nice little nook to his game there. And I just wanted to also comment, Rafael Cordero, obviously, tremendous coach, head coach of Kelvin Gastelum at King's MMA. Great head coach, of course, But I did think it was a little bit weird when Kelvin's going into the 5th round and they're telling him that he's up and that Cannonier is going to come out crazy, and that all Kelvin had to do was control the fight with his jab. I mean, I don't know what fight they were watching. Maybe they sincerely thought Gastelum was winning. I mean, I would have to assume they did sincerely think that. I would hope they weren't lying to him, but just watching the fight, man, it was clear as day to me that Cannonier was up 3 rounds to 1. And even if you gave Gastelum round 1 or 4 or something, it was 2-2. It definitely was not 3-1 Kelvin. So Not that his coaches screwed him, because Kelvin came out in round 5 and probably won that round, but they should have told him, man, hey, you need to finish. I mean, you're down 3-1, or you're down whatever. You know, I thought it was odd how they were telling Kelvin, hey, just control the fight with your jab. You're up. He has to come out crazy. I was thinking, man, I don't know what they're watching, but God bless him. So, with that being said, Kelvin had a great showing, even though he lost. Cannonier, even better showing, obviously. Showing the power, showing the new nook to his game and the movement, and also showed improved wrestling. Now, not that there was a weight disadvantage. I mean, they both weighed in at 185, and Kelvin may have even had a harder time making weight, it seemed like. But I think, Cannonier moving down from heavyweight to middleweight and Kelvin moving up from welterweight to middleweight is there's just a natural strength discrepancy there, I think. And I think it was hard for Kelvin to, get Cannonier down to the ground just due to that alone, But like I said, great showing from both guys, and I can't wait to see what is next for him. Yeah, I'd like to see Kelvin drop down in, level of opponent a little bit, but it's hard to do that because the guy's dangerous, so you can't just put him against, like Edmund Shabazian or something. You'll get a young guy knocked out. So it's tough because, Kelvin's only dangerous enough for the best guys, but he's also been losing to him, so you don't want to just feed him losses after losses, And then Cannonier, like I said, I'd love to see him fight the winner of Darren Till and Derek Brunson, or the winner of Paulo Costa, Marvin Vettori, which is supposed to be in, I believe, October. But yeah, I would say probably the winner of Till Brunson should fight Cannonier for the next title shot after Whitaker Adesanya. Unless of course unless Whitaker beats Adesanya, then they'll probably have a trilogy, in which case, the title contention will be delayed even longer. But great main event. Moving on to the co-main event, we had Marco Madsen coming back after almost a 2-year layoff. A lot of bad stuff. His girlfriend, I don't want to talk about all the bad stuff that's happened to him, but he's gone through all kinds of bad stuff over the last year and a half, 2 years, and somehow finds himself back in the octagon against Clay Guida, an absolute savage. And Clay Guida gave everything out there, and he was feeling himself. He was, doing what he could. I can't remember if it was the first or second round that Clay had did pretty well. It was a split decision win. One of the judges did have Clay winning the fight, so it was very close. But Marco Madsen, of course, Greco-Roman Olympic champion, I believe, or at least Olympic medalist. He was trying to incorporate the clinch style wrestling, the Greco-Roman wrestling, and he did at times, closing the distance, the upper body clinch work. He was working it a little bit. He didn't do much damage from that position, but he had a very crisp jab, and he would occasionally follow it up with the cross, and it was sharp, it was crisp, it was fast, and it was keeping Guida at bay. Guida could not get past Marco Madsen's reach, and his jab was doing a really good job at kind of keeping Guida at bay. And anytime Guida did come in, then he'd try to mix in the Greco-Roman. So it was a good mixture approach from Marco Madsen. And like I said, Clay Guida did good too. It was a split decision victory. One of the judges did have Guida winning that, and not for bad reason. I mean, the guy came out throwing hard, throwing fast, and moving forward, and he was landing quite a bit. I mean, you definitely could argue 2 rounds went to Guida, but you also could argue 2 rounds went to Madsen, or 3, probably could argue 3 rounds either way. It was a close fight, but I can't recall exactly what happened in each round off the top of my head, so I have a hard time scoring the fight off the top of my head. I haven't rewatched it, but I do remember thinking Marco Madsen was landing the cleaner shots at keeping him at bay. But like I said, Guida definitely had his moments that could have swayed the judges either way. Great performance from both guys. You hate to see either one of them lose, but great fight either way. Parker Porter and Chase Sherman, heavyweight slop fest. Not to be disrespectful, it's a super fun kind of fight to watch. I just say that because these guys are slinging leather the whole 15 minutes. These guys are gassed. Especially Chase Sherman was gassed in the third round. I mean, he pretty much lost all steam in his movement, but these guys are still just slinging leather to the head. Like just absolute savages, both guys. Parker Porter gets the well-deserved victory. But Chase Sherman didn't look bad in there. He just definitely has to work on that gas tank. I mean, he was completely gassed by the end of the third round, or even by the start of the third round almost. I mean, he's pretty much lucky he got that groin strike with 1 minute left to go in the third round because, yeah, he was just so gassed. He was so gassed. There was no steam in his movements. And, Parker Porter was gassed too, but was definitely moving a little better. Sherman was eating up Porter's lead leg though with the leg kicks, but Porter mostly landing the bigger shots and also having some success on the mats if he could get Sherman down to the mat. I believe that was just in the second round maybe. But either way, great fight, fun fight. And then we got off the top of my head, I can't remember his first name, but Cockromanov versus Trevin Jones. And Cockromanov, man, looking impressive in the striking. Trevin Jones was doing everything he could to get the fight to the ground. And, it was ultimately an impressive performance from Cockromanov. I would like to see him move on in that 135 division. I mean, that division is just so stacked with so much talent. I mean, it's hard to believe, a lot of people, it's definitely the most deep division in MMA. I mean, the 60th best bantamweight in the world looks like a world champion, it's crazy. But, Cockromanov looking impressive in the striking in that fight with Trevin Jones. Before them was Vince Pichel and Austin Hubbard. That was a fun fight. Pichel pulling it out, but Hubbard not giving him an easy time to do it, Like I said, Pichel did what he had to do. Pichel was the rightful winner in that one, but Austin Hubbard did not give him an easy time. Made it hard fought. It was very hard fought. Both of those guys, they gave it their all, you could tell, and that was a fun fight. I believe Vince Pichel called out Gregor Gillespie after, but so did Marco Madsen. I think Madsen is more likely to get that fight, but, Pichel could too. That'd be a fun fight. And then to kick off the main card was a tremendous fight, very important in the flyweight division, probably carving out our next title contender, Alessandre, I believe that's how you say his name, I'll just say it. Alexander Pantoja versus, of course, Brandon Royval. And Royval coming off a loss to the champ, Brandon Moreno. And I believe Pantoja's coming off that unanimous decision win against Manel Kape. Unless he fought again after that, but I don't think he did. Very, very high-paced fight. Tons of scrambles to kick off the fight. I mean, at first I was thinking, okay, maybe Pantoja will have a harder time keeping this pace than Royval. Maybe Royval will end up gassing out. And then, I don't know, before you knew it, I mean, Royval was still doing all right, but before you knew it, Alexander Pantoja is taking the back and looking for the rear naked choke, and sure enough, you see the arm go under the chin, and before you know it, the fight's over. So Pantoja proving, he is elite in that flyweight division. And, Royval also, like I said, gave him a very hard time, So Royval is definitely elite as well. And, the striking was back and forth as well. Both of them were landing good strikes. But, once Pantoja could take the back, I believe he got the body triangle. There was just not much Royval could get going from there before he got choked, So Pantoja calls out Brandon Moreno. Alexander Pantoja has beaten Moreno twice before Moreno became champ. He submitted him once, and he beat him 30-26 on the scorecards another time. So Pantoja has beat Moreno twice. However, of course, Brandon Moreno has improved tremendously since those fights and is now the world champion. So this is going to be a great fight. Very easy for the UFC to market. Hey, look, this guy's on a 3-fight win streak and he beat the champ twice. Like, very easy to sell. And, it's going to be a tremendous fight to watch, too. I mean, two absolute killers in there. But, yeah, very impressive performance from Alexander Pantoja and great stuff from Brandon Royval as well, all around. And then moving on to I'm not going to cover all the prelims, but it started with 4 impressive knockouts, finishes. Brahimaj versus Sasha Polatnikov. Brahimaj, man, this was like 1 or 2 minutes into the fight, into the first round. Brahimaj gets the fight to the ground almost before anyone had any success in the striking. Gets the fight to the ground, takes his back, starts looking for the choke, and he's pretty much like Polatnikov was fighting the choke for like 30 seconds or like 20 seconds. Like, his face was turning purple and he's fighting the choke. He's not giving up. He's really trying to fight the choke. And before you know it, you see his arms fall limp and he goes to sleep. I mean, brutal way to start the night. It was just kind of different because even when you see guys go to sleep, it normally doesn't take so long. Polatnikov was fighting for so long and then just out, so very, very, dramatic way to start the night. But, impressive finish from Brahimaj, man. Polatnikov is tough, especially in the striking, but of course most of the fight took place on the mat. And then, of course, knockout of the night, Ignacio Bahamondes versus Roosevelt Roberts. Man, it was a great fight. Bahamondes was definitely going to win on the scorecards, but there's 5 seconds left in the fight. He's about to go win a judge's decision, and he wings out a spinning wheel kick to the head and lands it right on the chin of Roberts and puts him out cold with 5 seconds left to go in the fight. I mean, tremendous, dramatic way to finish that fight. And just very impressive stuff. I mean, that was a picture-perfectly thrown kick. Very impressive. And like I said, he was going on to win a judge's decision, so it really takes a finisher to throw something like that. A lot of guys wouldn't be taking that kind of risk going out into a judge's decision knowing they would probably get the win. So the way he finished that one was very impressive to me. Showed a lot because, like I said, he was definitely going to go win a decision, but he said, no, I want to finish this guy. And that he did, Roberts, was he had his moments. He was landing the jab. Bahamondes, his face was cut up from the jab mostly. And he had other moments too. He landed some other good shots, but, he was like falling to his back, trying to play guard and stuff like that. Like, definitely Bahamondes was getting the better of him. And he definitely got the better of him when he landed that spinning wheel kick. And then William Knight versus, I believe it was Fabio Cherant. But man, William Knight, that man is huge. I mean, I don't know how he makes 205. I mean, I guess he's not the tallest, but my gosh, I mean, the guy looks like a absolute heavyweight. Like, he is massive. Just so powerful. And yeah, it showed in his finish against Fabio Cherant. I believe his name is Fabio. But yeah, Cherant, man, tremendous finish from William Knight, and I can't wait to see that guy some more because, man, this was the first time I've watched this fight, I believe, and man, he was just unbelievable. Just looked like an NFL player, looked like a defensive end or something. That was insane. I mean, that was insane, but yeah, impressive fight from him. And then Nunes versus Maleki. Now, Nunes was very outsized in this one, and ultimately she ended up getting it done. I mean, she started the fight, Josiane Nunes. Sorry, I forgot her first name. And yeah, it was Fabio Cherant. But, man, Josiane Nunes outsized in this one dramatically, and started the fight. Bia Maleki was, touching her up. I mean, I thought, okay, this is a little bit of a mismatch. I thought it was maybe going to end with a head kick finish for Maleki. and both of them with good records at the time. Maleki only 4-0, Nunes 8-1, but man, just the size difference. It looked like Nunes was supposed to be a straw weight or something, but the power, I mean, you do not normally see one punch KOs from women like that. No like disrespect or sexism, but man, it's like normally it's not one punch lights out like that. Normally it's a TKO, a combination that gets you the finish, but Nunes gets it done with one big overhand straight to the jaw. Very impressive, and a lot of adversity she overcame in that fight. So I really would like to see what she has moving forward in this kind of thin women's bantamweight division at the moment. But yeah, that covers the prelims I wanted to talk about. Brian Kelleher gets a good unanimous decision over Domingo Pilarte. Not too much to talk about in that one. Same goes for Austin Lingo. Good start for that fight. Good start against Austin Lingo for Luis Saldana, but Lingo ends up finishing it out with a decision victory. So, yeah, like I said, great fight card all around. Cannonier, Gastelum, let me know what you guys thought. I thought Cannonier looked great. Both guys looked great, but, Cannonier ends up getting the job done. So, yeah, if you guys like this video, leave a like. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, there will be more videos like this coming. So just subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when more come out. Like I said, thank you very much for watching.